Welcome to the Go Get Us podcast, but we haven't quite decided if we're doing it away. I am Colby.
And I'm an elephant that never forgets to murder. She can call me Fee.
Dang. Man, it's like one of those Persian elephants from 300.
The oily fants. That's what they're called. Lord of the Rings and
Oh no.
The Persian ones. Yeah, they're oily fants.
Yeah, but why though?
Don't ask me. Ask
Did
fucking...
they forget to shower or?
No, well, they oil them up so that way the arrows like slide off.
Yeah. Everybody tries to like climb up on the elephant. They're like,
but it didn't work because fucking Orlando Bloom got up there. Not Aragorn.
Aristotle?
Oh, cool. No, Orlando Bloom's character.
Yeah, I know. I know his name. Do you?
Yeah, I know. Yes.
It is.
See, so there's Aragorn, there's Gimli, there's Orlando Bloom.
Will Turner.
Wrong fantasy setting. Elvino. I really don't know. God, why is he speaking to me right now?
That's probably the worst name you could have pulled. It's not even close. It's Legolas.
Legolas, I was close.
No, you weren't. You said Elvino.
If you take the letters from Elvino, it's a what's an anagram for Legolas?
Don't look it up. Don't try it. It's just true.
Don't try. Just trust me on this. It's true. If I was an elf in Middle Earth, my name would be Elvino.
I don't know that it would, Fee, actually.
Probably not. I'd be a dwarf in Middle Earth.
Yeah, dwarves are cool, man. Like,
yeah, dude.
Gimli was like the coolest out of the whole fellowship, so I mean,
dude, Gimli was the coolest dwarf in all of Middle Earth.
And all of the cool characters in The Hobbit are dwarves, so it's like obviously.
Dude, Thorin Oakenshield is a bitch. I don't want... No.
What are you talking about? My man went on a quest.
Yeah, so did Gimli.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying...
a single dwarf.
I would never say that Thorin Oakenshield is better than Gimli.
Okay.
I would never say that.
I take it back.
You take that back. You take those words right out of your mouth.
Oh, God. Speaking of, have you seen anything about the new Lord of the Rings trailer?
I saw the trailer, and I saw that a bunch of people were mad that, like, a girl was climbing a mountain. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, okay, so that's Galadriel. And like,
yeah.
Well, everyone's like, Galadriel never climbed a mountain by herself and fought in a war and basically was Joan of Arc.
Galadriel
didn't do any of that.
Galadriel did some shit, as far as I remember.
She did some shit. Because I've kind of like on YouTube I was like listening to a lore dump, and people they were like, yeah, Galadriel didn't do all of this by herself. She kind of had a group of people. She was with a group of people, but she didn't just trek everything by herself, and she didn't like war on like she wasn't as badass as they're making her seem in the show. I mean, but then again, I haven't read the Silverinian or anything from the Second Age.
Yeah, okay, here's the things that I know about Lord of the Rings. Nothing. I saw the movies one time and was like, that was pretty good. And I tried to read The Hobbit, and I got halfway through, and I said, this is boring and stupid, so I stopped it.
I read the first Lord of the Rings. I read the Fellowship of the Ring. And that's as far as I got.
No, did you get done and you were like, whew, well, there goes that. No more.
Yeah. Look, I read it, and then I was like, I looked at the other two books, I was like, I'm okay. I'm good.
I got other stuff to do, man.
I'm like, I'll just play the game on PS2, which is infinitely better.
I mean, honestly, yeah. What was it? Shadow of Mordor?
Yeah, it was. What was the second movie? The Twin Towers. What's it? the
Two
what's it called?
towers.
The
Two
two
towers.
towers. Yeah.
One
Lord of
was
the
an
Rings,
American
9/11.
tragedy. It's fine.
Lord of the Rings 9/11. They fight the terrorists.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a really weird like subquest that they went on. A 3-hour movie to go kill Osama bin Laden. It's very
Ghibli in
strange.
fucking Iraq just axing terrorists. 1, 2, just all of and then Osama bin Laden pulled out a staff and started a wizard fight with fucking Gandalf.
I remember that. That was my favorite part, actually.
Yeah, in his last words, like he had like detonated the cave, and Gandalf looked back at Frodo and was like, "Fly, you fool!" and fucking.
Yeah, it was really weird because Gandalf disappeared in the first movie, and then he came back to fight the terrorists, and then he disappeared again, and we were like, "Oh God, is he gonna disappear again in the third one?" But no, everything got back on track. It was fine.
As they're like, okay, so like you got Desert Storm, you have all the army guys like kind of like let's say, because it's not how it happened, but like Wonder Woman, they're in trenches fighting each other in fucking Iraq and then over the hill you see Gandalf.
There he is
on the light of the seventh day, and there he is with an army just fucking charging.
You're like, whoa, Jesus.
They're like, and then everyone like does that look at each other and gets out of the trenches and runs to the other side. God damn it.
Man, I honestly, Fee, why aren't you making movies?
Give me if someone would give me any kind of budget, honest to God, I'd make something so stupid it would be great.
I'll give you $100. That's it. You have to bring your own camera. You have to film on your phone.
I was saying I'm gonna film on my phone. It's gonna look awful. I feel like I have enough ideas to make just silly, cool like Sci-Fi Channel style movies.
Oh yeah, like purposefully not super high quality but okay kind of movies.
Let's say I start out there and people are like, "Oh, these movies are good, but they're not great." I bet if this guy had a bigger budget, maybe it had some top quality actors, maybe he could make a blockbuster. I feel like that's the humble beginnings of Fee the director.
Yeah, like somebody sees like some small like independent movie that you did, and then they're like, like with Sam Raimi, like somebody sees Evil Dead, and then they're like, well, why don't we give you some money? And then he uses that money, and then he makes SpiderMan.
Honestly, if I did that and someone gave me like a budget, I'd immediately come to you to like, so you can help me write a script.
Please God. They want something in like 2 weeks. I don't know what I'm doing.
Colby, I didn't even write a script for this first movie. I just ad-libbed everything.
Listen, I've never asked you for anything.
Colby, I've never asked you for anything. And you'd be like, that's a lie. You asked me to buy you a Steam Deck for enchiladas.
That is true. That happened today, by the way.
Yeah, that happened today. But like, to be fair, they're good. It's an enchilada casserole. It's good.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is, but I like the Steam Deck is almost $600. Like, I'm not. I don't think any enchiladas are going to be worth that much.
Okay, two fucking enchilada trays of enchilada casserole. That's at least a week's worth of enchiladas. Come on, man.
Well, okay, so you know that I'm going to be the only one that's eating them, right?
So here's what I'll do. We'll have one tray of just regular enchiladas, and then I'll commission my mom to make a vegan enchilada tray.
I can guarantee you, if you asked your mom right now, can you make some vegan enchiladas? She would be like, number one, I don't know what that means. And number two, what am I supposed to put on top of them?
They sell vegan cheese at the store. We could probably substitute the meat for like tofu or eggplant. The tortillas are already vegan. Their tortillas are made of corn.
Here's the thing. A lot of tortillas are fried up in lard.
Except these tortillas aren't fried up. My mom puts them in straight out of the package and bakes them with the food. So that way the food juices absorb into the tortillas.
No. Fee, like when they make the tortillas, sometimes they fry them in lard. Like, before they get into the package.
Well, here's the thing. We can just make our own. Just cornmeal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cornmeal, and that's it. Cornmeal.
I don't know how to make corn tortillas.
Listen, I know that a comal is needed, and that's it. It's cornmeal, and that's tortillas happen, I think.
You need like that plastic wrap and that little metal press. I always see it on Iron Chef.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to do it. Either way, a Steam Deck, you got one. I was thinking about it after we talked about it. I was like, oh, that'd be really cool. But I'm like, well, what do I need it for?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm always home. I don't go anywhere.
True.
I'm like, I already got a Switch.
I mean, instead of your Switch, you could play all of your PC games at work. That's the key.
That is a key, but like, God, that is... I thought about that too, and I was just like, that's so good. I'm like, but then I look at my Steam library, and I feel like I have a lot, but I have like 30 or so games. That's not a lot.
Yeah, but 30 is not an excessive amount.
No, well, like... I don't know. Oh, no, I got 78. I'm sorry.
Listen, that's the story with everyone. Like, everyone is like, yeah, no, I bought a couple of things on Steam, and I don't know, maybe I've got like a couple of dozen, and then every time you log in, it's like, how did I get 150? When did that happen?
Well, like, so here's the thing. Whenever they have games on sale, sometimes they sell them in bundles for like $5 each. So, like, I have all the Batman games because they came in, like, an $8 bundle. I have all the Prince of Persia's, like, the emo Prince of Persia games, because they were in a bundle for $5. Like, all these games, other than, like, the big games, like fucking Cyberpunk, or, like, Back 4 Blood or Borderlands 3, all of them were on sale. Like, all the Roller Coaster Tycoons, I bought them for less than $5 each.
That's not bad.
All the Saints Row games I have, less than $5 each. The Shadow Warriors, Shank, fucking Rage, and Left 4 Dead. I buy them when they're like $5 or less, and I'm just like, I will play them eventually, and I usually don't, except for some of them. Like, I've streamed some of them, like Sonic Adventures. I did Mass Effect. I was doing it, and Back 4 Blood and Borderlands. I've done that, and this is just games on Steam. Because on the Steam Deck, you could also access... They have a Linux server. I could probably access my Epic Games list and play the Epic Games I have on my collection.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance.
And then I could probably also put my Xbox Game Pass on it. So...
It's possible. Listen, man, like, Steam Decks are just now getting into the hands of people. I wouldn't be surprised if we were starting to see like a bunch of emulators and like Xbox Game Pass and stuff like that. It wouldn't surprise me.
And I have 87 games on my Epic Games, and then Xbox Game Pass. Forget about it. There's a whole shitload of games on there. But regardless, I mean, that's good for you that you're getting one. I don't have like 550. I mean, I will on Wednesday, but I need to pay some stuff. I just
There's
can't be
bills.
There are bills, especially. Well, not as much anymore. For listeners in not in the know, I no longer live at my old place. I moved back with me madre.
Yeah.
And this is what I told Colby this, like as soon as I got back, and he's just like, "Oh man." He's like, you move with your mom again. How's that going? I'm like, it's good. Everything's good. She's happy. They're accommodating. I'm like, but like right now, I really wish I had the powers to make my ex-roommates lactase mice out of the nipples.
just everything from the end of last episode. Like, we recorded last episode, and then basically some roommate drama happened the next day. And so that whole end of the podcast really takes on a new meaning when you think about it.
Yeah, because like the last podcast, I was like, I'm gonna fuck with my roommate. Just he's kind of a dick, but it's not that bad. The next day, he went fucking ballistic. And, like, they dragged me into their shit. And then I got kicked out. But, like...
Yeah.
not for anything I did. I was streaming.
Yeah, that was my favorite part is you were streaming. I was putting the baby down, and then like you hear this loud knocking on Fee's stream, and he goes, "Oh, someone's at my door. Hang on." And then you hear like some noises, and then like I wasn't paying super a lot of attention, and then I just hear like his roommate just going off and being like, "And you're talking shit behind my back, and both of you stabbed me in the back." I was like, whoa, what is happening here? So, like, obviously, I, like, turn up the volume on the stream. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm, like, listening in, and, like, the two of them are arguing, and then I don't hear anything from Fee. This is very typical of Fee. If anybody is, like, mad at Fee and is, like, yelling at him, Fee's like, I guess I'll just kind of stay out of this. I'm just going to not say anything.
I was just like... Okay, because like he started at like I opened the door and he's like, "You got 30 days to get out of here." I'm like, "What did I do?" I was like, "What?" And then he was just like, "You know it," like, and that's where the argument came through. And then I was just chilling there because it went from arguing to me to the roommate and his girlfriend, who was also my roommate, arguing together. I guess I don't know what they did, but they were arguing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just chilling there, and I sit on the couch, and I'm just like watching this unfold. And then they start fighting, and it gets physical. And then I sneak back into my room because the stream is still going, and I'm like, "We'll do this later."
Yeah,
in the stream,
Fee's like, "We'll have to do this again later," and then stops the stream. As my favorite thing because it just sounded like, "Oh, hey, I gotta go. We're gonna go out to a nice restaurant," instead of like, "Hey, people are fighting in my house, and I gotta go. I'm sorry."
Yes, man, my bad, guys. Like, I wasn't even upset. I just turned off the stream, and I was like, well, I'm like, there's no coming back from this. Like,
yeah, yeah. There's not like you walk in and you go, "Yeah, I don't know what that was about." Anyway,
when everyone heard because they were arguing. Dude, and then they were fighting. They were like in the kitchen, and I was on the couch sitting because I thought they were gonna come back to me, and I was just, and they were like fighting, like physical, like they were on the floor. There was threats of like of suicide, and I was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's just,
man, that's wild.
But,
that's wild. What's happening over there? I don't know how it involves me, but okay.
I'm sure glad that's not me. But, so he said that the next day, and this motherfucker happened on my week off. I get a week off every month of work, and on the first day, he tells me to leave. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna stick around, and I'm not gonna pay another month's rent. I'm gonna pack all my stuff before the month's over and leave, turn off the internet, and change all the passwords to my streaming service, and like just disassociate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did, and I haven't heard nothing from them. And
that's the craziest part to me is that like not one of them is reaching out to be like, "Hey, just wanted to ask you about some stuff," or like no one's apologizing. No one is reaching out to be like, "Hey, sorry about how that went." It's just like, well, you're gone. Good.
Dude, no. So like he reached out to me the second day I was like moving out, and he was like, "Is the internet a contract or is it month by month?" And like he woke me up in the morning, like he called me. I was already at my mom's house, and he was like, I was like, "I don't know. I'll tell you later." And he fucking hung up. And I was just like, "What?" I was like, "Why would I tell you anyway?"
Mean? Why are you calling me this early? Go away.
Yeah, it was like 8 in the morning, and I was like, "You can go online. They tells you online." I was like, "Whatever." But yeah, that happened, and it's so weird. And I've like learned as an adult, I hate moving shit, or maybe just from my apartment. I was on the 3rd floor, and boxing up all of my stuff and moving it from the 3rd floor down 3 flights of stairs to my car really sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it never gets easier, right? I've moved a number of times, and just like as you get older, you just accumulate more stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's at the point now where, in fact, we did. So like this is going to be like a super like privileged I have money thing, but anyway, so like we had movers like move us from our last house to this one, and like it's coming down to the wire. We rented some moving boxes, and like we've been stuffing these bad boys, but like we can't, like, we're running out of time. We just have too much stuff, and so we, like, the moving company was like, by the way, if you want us to like come and help you pack, we can do that. And I was like, yeah, do that. So we had like 2 dudes come by, and we paid them like $100 to pack up the kitchen. And that's all they did was just pack the kitchen. And then the next day, like, the truck shows up and they go, oh, yeah, we're probably going to need 2 trucks. And I was like, why didn't you get 2 trucks then? Like, get the second truck. So they finally get both of the trucks. They start like loading it up, and like we end up getting all of our stuff into our house at like, I mean, it was late. It wasn't like, whenever we moved into our last house, it was legitimately like 9:30 before like the movers left, and we had been moving since like 10 a.m.
I hate that.
This one, it was pretty similar though, like 7-8 p.m. You know, we finally get like all of our stuff in, and the thing is, like, it's not just the packing up and the, like, you know, because moving day is like, if you have movers, someone else is doing it, but like the amount of work it takes to get a house unpacked is just daunting. So at this point, I'm like, okay, the next time that we move, we are saving up money, and then someone is going to pack up the house, someone is going to move it, and then someone is going to unpack it, and we're just going to show up, and that's it. I'm done doing it.
Dude, that's what I said. Like, I just had one room, and I had 6 medium boxes full, and then just I just ended up just being like, you know what? Fuck that. Because, like, as I was pulling stuff and boxing it on my own, I was already tired. I was like, man, I fucking hate this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I see all this stuff, and my sister came and helped me. I'm like, you know what, Jess? We're just going to throw a lot of this stuff that I don't need out of my closet just away. Throw all this old clothes away that doesn't fit me. I don't know why I'm holding it. Like, moving really makes, like, you start to see stuff that you're just like, why do I have this?
Yeah.
And like, why do I need this? I'm like, I don't wear it. I don't use it. I'm like, it's just in my closet.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I had a Pizza Hut, what's it called? Delivery bag that I had just been keeping from when I worked at Pizza Hut delivery for a few months. And I did nothing with it. It was just in my closet collecting dust.
You were like, yeah, one day
like,
someone's going to deliver me a pizza, and I'm not going to be ready to eat it, but I'll eat it later. I'll put it in this bag. It'll be great.
Like, oh man. And then as we were throwing like all my, I had an ingenious idea, and my sister didn't like believe me. I was like, okay, Jess, look, I'm not keeping my bed sheets. So we're going to take all these trash bags, and then we're going to throw them in the bed sheet, which is like a king-size bed sheet. And we're going to tie it all up, and then we're going to just drag the bed sheet full of trash out to the dumpster. She's like, that's not going to work. And then after we got everything in there and like tied it up and dragged out on the stairs, she was like, oh, hey, it worked. I was like, yeah, no shit, it worked.
Like, yeah, of course it did.
I'm like, because I came up with it. And and it saved us a bunch of time. And as we threw everything away, these 2 people came and like dug in the dumpster and took a lot of the stuff that we threw away.
You're like actively throwing stuff away, and they're digging through the stuff you're just throwing away, and you're just like not making eye contact. Like, oh.
That's kind of how it was until like they were done and they were going back to their place. And they were just like, thank you, with like some stuff in our hand. I was like, no problem.
You're like, okay. You're welcome, I guess.
What else could I say?
Yeah.
Either way, I'm out of that place. I'm in my new place. I'm like really happy about it. Positive environment. New fucking new fee, new me.
That's right. That's the motto. New fee, new me.
That's the model of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, my mom's making me exercise and eat better, so that's good.
Good, yeah.
It's good. Well, because like you don't know this, but like when you live alone and I was there with my I didn't live alone. I had 2 roommates, but I was basically alone. Like
Yeah.
no one came to my room and fucking hang out, or we didn't go out to eat together. If they went out and ate by themselves. But that's because they're a couple. It's not like they were like just friends. But like I just end up doing a lot of things by myself. And I just sit by myself and watch TV and just I have a lot of time just to be in my own head, and let me tell you, it's very depressing.
No, it is 100% correct.
It's just like I wake up and I'm like, well, what do I want to do today? Nothing. Okay. So like that's just how it was. But now I wake up and you know I my mom's here. We got the pets. My sister. We all hang out. So you know it's good. I have this positive reinforcement. I have this positive environment. I'm eating better. It's just all around good, and it feels good. So.
Man, the last time that I lived alone was 2012, I guess. And like it was. I'm thinking back to like what I did for food at the time, and it was a mix like 50-50. Like half the time I would go out for like Whataburger or something like that, and the other half the time I would like buy stuff from the store and cook like just very, very fast meals or get like frozen meals.
Yeah.
And then my wife moved in, and then all of a sudden it was like, ooh, we could go to restaurants now because I'm not going to sit by myself.
Because I won't look like a sad loser.
Exactly. So when I went to New Zealand by myself, I went to a number of restaurants alone because I was like, who cares? I'm in a foreign country. I'm never going to see these people again. But like, it took a little bit to get over that feeling of like, well, here I am, a sad single man sitting at this table alone in a foreign country.
That's so funny.
Not understanding that like America's the only place where you get free refills on soda.
No shit. They don't give you refills for free? Oh,
no, dude. Like the first restaurant that I went to, I was like, yeah, give me like this and a Diet Coke. And they were like, oh, okay. And they brought water to my table, and I was like, well, I'm not going to touch that. And then they gave me a Diet Coke, and it was like, it felt so like in America, you ask for a Diet Coke, and if the place is legit, they have a soda machine, so they bring you a glass full of Coke. And if it's a place that's like, usually like Chinese food places will do this, or like places that don't have like a lot of infrastructure, they'll just bring you a glass of ice and a can. And that's what happened in New Zealand. I was like, what the fuck? And I poured my Diet Coke in, right? And I drank a little bit of it, and I was like, oh no. I bet I could tell you what's happened. And sure enough, I looked under the can and it was expired. And I was like, oh, they just don't have Diet Coke at this place. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy to me. Whatever. It's fine. So yeah, next place that I went to, I asked for a Diet Coke, and this time they showed up with a glass. I was like, oh, great. And then I was like, hey, can I get a refill of a Diet Coke? And they were like, you want another Diet Coke? And I went, yeah, like a refill. And they were like, yeah, okay. And I said, all right, cool. So I didn't think anything of it, and then like I checked the bill at the end, and it was like they billed me for 2 Diet Cokes. I was like, whoa, hey,
something right here.
And then that's where I found out that like most foreign countries do not have refills on sodas. They just don't.
I still think it's weird that Japan's like large sodas are medium, and they don't. They don't sell 3 liters.
Yeah, they sell basically everything that's like soda related is like either small or it's kind of hard to get. Like soda's not really a big thing over there.
I know
Um,
that's weird. What do they drink? Just tea?
yeah, water. Water is a big one.
Ew.
Gross water. But like, I mean,
Um,
they've obviously got like, so there's like tea, coffee, and vending machines, stuff like Calpico,
yeah.
where it's like water that's like flavored in a certain way,
They have
or
various juices.
yeah, sometimes there's juices. But yeah, it's very rare. At the very least, it was rare for me going to Japan to be like, oh, let me get a Coke Zero. Like, it just didn't occur to me because I was like, this is Coke doesn't live in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
to me, it's like you get off the plane and Japan like frisks you and is like, trying to sneak Coke in here, huh? Throw this
Oh,
away.
you want to bring Pepsi and Dr. Pepper to our innocent people? Fucking
You disgusting.
pour it out. American swine. Fucking- that doesn't deter me from like. I'll find something to drink, something good. I'll drink ramen. I'll just drink strawberry juice. I'll drink all the vending machine coffee because I fucking love coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I very much really want to travel. Like, now that I'm gonna have extra money, I really want to travel. But I can't speak Japanese. I would just go over there and be an asshole. Just be like, hey,
Just be
everybody, and
useless.
they're like, basically. And that'll be my experience. I was like, I had a great time as I'm leaving all of Japan. Like, that guy was a jerk.
Yeah, geez, get him out of here. There's so many things that like for like visiting Japan, there's things that you don't think of that are like social customs there that you don't. So like one of the biggest ones is like if you're feeling sick, you're supposed to wear a mask, right?
Yeah.
It's not like people wear masks all the time, or at least they didn't used to. It's like you wear a mask if you're feeling sick, and it's like a very normal thing.
Yeah.
And that's like one that everyone knows about. One that you don't know about, I can almost guarantee it, is that whenever you are paying someone, like especially at like a convenience store or like a restaurant, something like that, they have a tray, right? There's a tray next to the register that you're supposed to put your cash or your card in. So you put it in the tray, and then the person behind the counter will pick it up from the tray. Like that's how things go. If you try to hand it to them in their hand, they don't want to do. They're like, no, don't do that. Put it down,
weird.
please. Put it down,
Sir, please, sir, I got a family.
sir. Please, you're gonna give me your kukuis. You're gonna. I'm afraid of like whatever is on your hands and your every. Just put the money down, sir. It's
Please.
very strange.
I mean, now that you told me, I guess now I have something to look forward to. Not forward to, but like look for. Like, I don't want to look like an asshole. Be like, take my fucking card.
Why aren't you taking it?
I want to pay you. And then fucking.
Yeah, it's great. And like, so the other thing is you like dark coffee, right? Like you like coffee that kind of tastes like traditional roasty kind of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are probably going to like the coffee that's there because they have that, and they also have like extremely sweet coffee. Japan is not like a specialty coffee kind of place yet. So like all of the things that are in cans, and that's the craziest thing is that you go to a convenience store and they have like all the glass cases that just look like regular drinks and stuff. And then you open up one of them and it's hot inside because that's where all the hot coffee is. It's crazy. Like there's just hot cans of coffee that you get and you're like, whoa, beans.
If I go to a convenience store, I want my coffee cold, unless I'm going like in the morning with a cup that I refill, which I don't know if any other place does, but like when I go to work, I go to a gas station and I refill my like, what's it called? My like 30 ounce, what's it called?
Mm-hmm.
My tumbler of just coffee. And I don't know if like that's normal everywhere else.
I mean, did you say 30 ounces?
Yeah, like the size that you have your Whataburger thermos.
Yeah, you put that all with just coffee and any sugar, any cream, anything like
Oh
that?
yeah, well, yeah, it's not just all full to the brim with coffee. I got creamer and sugar in it too.
That's a lot.
Well,
That is a lot.
I don't just gulp it down. Like I sip on it like for at least 4 hours.
Okay, well that's fair. That's all right. I mean, I like during the day, I usually like I'll make a coffee in the morning, like 9 a.m. So I make a coffee, and then I'll make another coffee in the afternoon, like 1 or 2. So I don't know, you're not too bad.
Yeah. See, so like it's mostly just to keep me awake, like at work because I go very early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I only do it for mornings, not for nights. But I sip on it, and then once I'm done with it, I go straight to just drinking water the rest of the day.
Nice.
But that's just me. I like America's weird because like some places that's fine. Like I don't know if like anyone out there knows, but like down here we had like a 60-ounce huge mug that these fucking truckers are just guys that worked like in the field would just come to the Stripes and fill it to the brim with just fucking soda or like coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they were carrying like a big pot for cooking with a handle on it.
Was it one of those like 7-Eleven super gulps?
Yeah, like like I said, it was like a 60 ounce. It's just a big thing. And I don't know if they sell them like much anymore, but the people who still have them use them. You'd always see it at a truck stop, and it's always fun to see because I'm just like, God damn. I know they're not all just like it's for the trip, but damn, you need your road soda. You can't have you can't have a successful good trip without road soda or road snacks.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to get your road trip accoutrement correct, right? Like you've got to have your drinks, you got to have your snacks.
Yeah.
For me personally, I have gotten to the point where I have basically like life hacked driving. And what I do is I'll start off in the morning and like I'll get a coffee. And then, we'll stop at some point to like get gas, and then I go to the bathroom. And then from that point onward, I just don't drink anything because I'm like, I don't want to have to pull over and pee. I just don't want to have to. So by the time I get to my destination, I'm pretty parched, but I didn't have to pee. So that's the trade-off,
I can hold my peeing for about a good 2 hours.
Yeah.
So like what I do, right when I fucking start off, like say I'm going to Austin. It's like a 4-hour trip. Well, I start off with my big 44-ounce soda, and I'll buy 2 big waters just in case I run out. I probably will run out by the time I get there. And then I have like a bag of chips or like some easily opened snacks that I could just reach into the passenger seat and just eat while I drive because there's a whole lot of straight road. And then I'll make halfway from like say here to there. I'll stop once to use the restroom and then like refill my soda or something, or like get a new snack, or maybe I'm hungry, so I'll stop and get me like whatever is there, and I'll be like, that's good. But by the time I get there, I'll be ready to like eat again or whatever we're gonna do. Because like usually when I go to your place, we're just like, hey, how you doing? Let's go out to go eat. I'm like, okay, let's go. Every time I go somewhere, it's whenever I arrive at the destination, it's let's not just chill, let's go out and eat, or let's go out and do something. So I'm always ready for it.
So I like the reason why I have like gotten really gun shy with drink, because like you just mentioned so much liquid, and I'm like, number one, I don't drink that much liquid like in a day. So that's crazy to me. But like even when driving, right? Like if I bring like my 32-ounce Whataburger cup, if I bring like if I buy a 20-ounce soda, whatever, if I consume that while I am driving, it is almost inevitable that either I will have to pull over and like go to the bathroom, or one time on a trip back to Taft, I got outside of Beeville. I was between Beeville and Taft, just in the middle of the country, and I just had to pull off to the side of the road and pee, just like, because there's nowhere safe to stop. Basically, it's like you're either going through, you're going through either like
of nothing.
Yeah, you're going through either really tiny towns where it's like there may be a Dairy Queen, but like I don't want to go to the bathroom in a Dairy Queen bathroom, like mainly because I would feel weird about coming in and not paying for anything. So that means that I would have to like also buy ice cream, which isn't so bad. But if I'm buying ice cream, I want to go into the drive-through. So, that's inefficient. It's much better to just be on the side of the road.
Yeah, what you have to do is you have your empty cup, and then while you're driving on that long stretch of road, just pull your wiener out and just pee in the cup.
That is the worst idea. Did I tell you about like the pee cycle that I got into while camping out for like the PlayStation 3?
No.
Okay, so they announced, PlayStation 3 is coming out, and pre-orders at GameStop are going to open tomorrow. I called the GameStop that I knew about in Lubbock because I was at college at the time. So I called the GameStop that I knew about, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to have 4 pre-orders." And I said, "Well, one of those has got to be me." So I get ready. I load up, right? I bring, I think, 4 sodas with me, and I brought like a snack. And so like I show up, and it's like 10 p.m. and no one is there. I'm like, great. So I am just sitting in the truck, just listening to music and like playing stuff on my DS and just having a good time, just chilling.
Yeah.
And the problem is that I had to pee long about, I don't know. It must have been like midnight or so, midnight 1 a.m. Because no one was around. In fact, in midnight 1 a.m., no one was still in line for the PS4 or the PS3. So It's just me in this empty parking lot outside of a GameStop. And I was like, well, what do I do? So I got the idea. I'm like, okay, I don't have anything to pee into. What I will do is I will chug this soda, and then I will have an empty can to pee in, and that is what I'll have to do. Yeah. So I do that, and I pee into this empty can. The can is not big enough to hold all of my pee, so I have to stop. Right?
Midstream, pour them out.
Midstream, and I'm like, God, why? I dispose of the can, and by dispose of the can, I mean I put it next to my car because I don't have any other options. Like the thing is, I have to explain to you that the fear in me is so deep because like I can see a Walgreens. I can see a Walgreens and I can see a dumpster next to the Walgreens, and I'm like, I could go pee next to that dumpster. I could pee in a cup and throw it into that dumpster.
Yeah.
But my stupid brain is like, no. The second you get out of this truck and you walk over to that dumpster, 4 people are going to show up, and then you won't be getting your PlayStation 3. So I'm like, well, I can't do it then, right? Like I've just got, so I put the cup next to me. It's not 45 minutes before I need to pee again, and I don't have another container. So I chug another soda, and then I pee into that one, and I can't go all the way because the can is too small. Can next to the car. Hour later, have to pee again, chug another soda, pee into the can again. I do this for all 4 of the sodas. At this point, it's like 4:35 in the morning, and I need to pee so bad. And my wife is listening to me doing this podcast and just sent me a message that said, I hate this story. This is the worst. So like I'm at this point, I don't know what to do. Like, am I just going to like, am I going to pee in the parking lot? Am I going to have to go to the dumpster? What am I going to do? And I start just like looking through the car. Like, is there a plastic bag I can pee in? Anything. And eventually I found that someone had left a bottle of water in my car like a long time ago. So I finally emptied that out. I peed into the water bottle and I put that next to the truck. Now, at this point, I'm like, oh God, finally, like, I couldn't sleep the whole time because I needed to pee so bad. Finally, I've peed enough. I can go to sleep. I go to sleep. I wake up at like 6:30 in the morning. There's still no one outside the GameStop. It is just me. No one wanted to pre-order the PlayStation 3. So I'm hanging out, and eventually the time comes for the store to open at 10 a.m. Along about 9, someone else showed up. So by the time they open, it's me and one other person. You could have walked into that GameStop at opening and pre-ordered a PlayStation 3. It was ridiculous. I was so pissed off. And honestly, the whole situation made me feel justified with the fact that now I have left a bunch of pee in their parking lot.
Talk about pissed off. Oh my God.
The follow-up to this is that I don't know if you remember, but the Wii was announced like right after the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So it was like the next week Wii pre-orders came up. And so the Wii pre-orders were coming up and I was like, okay, I know what to do this time, right? Like I'm not going to bring a bunch of soda to drink. I am going to bring a blanket and I am going to bring something in case I need to pee into it, right? So I have dinner. I'm hanging out. Like the store closes at 9 and I'm like, it's not a big deal. I'll just I've got some homework to do. I'll just show up later. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be there for it. And so I show up at the GameStop at midnight and there are 7 people in line. And I am like, well, there's 6 people in line. I was number 7. So I'm like, hey, how many Wiis is this location getting? And they said 9. And I was like, oh, thank God. Okay. So I'm safe. Good. And from that point on, it was like the temperature was like 20 degrees or something. Like it was freezing that night. And we were all in our blankets and our coats and stuff, just talking and trying to hang out and trying to have a good time. And it was a really good time up until about 4 a.m, where it got too cold and we were all too tired and we were all very grumpy. And people would show up at our GameStop. And we were like, hey, we've got they've got 9 pre-orders. We've got 9 in line. Sorry, you got to go to another place. We stopped doing that long about 5 a.m. because we all got a little too salty about it. And so people just showed up and got in line behind us and we were like, nah, you didn't wait out in the cold for 10 hours for a dumb Wii. You didn't wait out like we did, so you get to stay here. And so we just let an additional 5 or 6 people just hang out in line behind us. And then they were like the store's about to open. It's 9:30 and it's 9-ish. And the manager comes up and is like, hey, all right, organize yourselves into a line. We've only got 9 pre-orders. So, if there's more of you than that, you may want to try somewhere else. Sure enough, we immediately look back to the people at the back of the line. They're like, what the fuck? We're like, yeah,
tell us.
Yeah, you didn't suffer through the pain like we did. Get out of here.
Yeah. I've only ever waited for a midnight release several times for Call of Duty. And that's all. And they always at midnight they would just be like, all right, doors open, come on in. And then they'd give us our you had to pre-order. You can't just show up and buy it. So I'd always show up. We'd always be there, and then there's just a big line of people, and then they're just being annoying, and I'm just there either by myself or with Mike, and we're just everyone's being stupid, and they're just oh man, my fucking KDA or my fucking KDR is so good. You're like, oh man, I was prestige 50 in the last Call of Duty. I'm just like, nobody cares.
Hey, after this, 1v1 me, Russ, bro. It's dog, shut up.
Yeah, I'm like, who cares? I'm not gonna even play. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah, I see. Midnight releases are great because, like, you get because it's not that long. Like, it's not that long, and usually you have to like already have a pre-order. You're not like lining up to go buy the thing.
Yeah.
But like, whenever you're lining up for a pre-order, it's the worst of both worlds because there are times where you're like, oh, new console's coming out. I'm going to go wait at the Best Buy. I'm going to show up at 7 p.m. and then whenever they open the next day, I'm going to be able to buy my new console or whatever, right? Like, people wait like 24 hours, 48 hours or whatever, and then at the end of it, they walk out with their Xbox. But like, when you successfully do a pre-order, you just walk out with a receipt and they're like, come back later. And you're like, okay, cool. And like, it's, by the way, never at midnight. Like, if they're ever doing a pre-order, it's always like, we'll be open at our regular time and you can come in and pre-order things at the regular time. And you're like, no midnight release, nothing. Okay. Like, when they announced that Switch pre-orders were going up, I drove to a GameStop near me and they had posted a piece of paper that was like, hey, this GameStop is going to open at 10 a.m. and we are going to have 12 pre-orders for Nintendo Switches. And so I was like, okay, all right. So I ended up just like showing up at 7 a.m. and just hanging out in the parking lot. And there were maybe 10 of us. It was awesome. Yeah. Like, I just hung out in the car. It wasn't that long. I didn't have to just sit outside and be like miserable.
I have never waited for a console pre-order. Like, I always got my consoles like months later, or like somehow my parents got them close to release. So I never had that trauma. But I've always had the trauma of needing to pee and not having anywhere to pee. I don't know if I told
that's
the
fair.
story.
That's pretty universal, honestly.
I've never had. I don't know if I told the story on the podcast, but when I was in New Orleans last year. We were all downtown New Orleans, like on what's it called street, and they were all the people that were with me were like, oh, we're gonna go to the store and do this stuff. I'm like, guys, I gotta pee and I don't want to go to that store, so I'm gonna find a place to pee. And on the street that we parked, there was like 2 hotels and like a restaurant and like a place to buy like alcohol, and I went to all of them, and none of them had a bathroom that was working. I was like, man, what the fuck? But like the hurricane just happened, so
yeah, you're like, wow, I can't believe that you don't have working infrastructure, hurricane victims.
So like I was like, oh, so, and it was kind of raining. It was like drizzling. So if you don't know, downtown New Orleans, there's a lot of big buildings. So I went in between a building. I don't think I should have been back there, and pissed behind a big dumpster. And then I just went back to the car, and I was like, yeah, that's good.
See, that's the sort of freedom I yearn for. That's like, you had a thought, you had a problem, and you found a solution, and you went for it, right?
Yeah.
I will see a solution to a problem and then think of a bunch of reasons why I shouldn't do it. And then the whole rest of the time while I'm not doing it, I'm like, wow, if I would have done that thing that I thought of, but I can't do it now. That would be stupid.
The thing is, like, when it comes to, like, taking a piss, my mom and my dad have always taught me that, well, you're a boy, you can just pee anywhere. And I just ran with that. But even so, like, I remember, like, vividly this one time when I was a child, and there's an empty lot at the end of my street that belongs to my family. My mom, my dad, some of our cousins and my aunt were there, and we're all popping fireworks and stuff. And I remember there's a big tree in the middle of the lot, and we're keeping the fireworks there. And I remember going to the tree, and then my aunt was like, hey, don't come to this side of the tree because I have to pee. And I was just like, oh, well, okay. And, like, she just, like, dropped her shorts and, like, leaned up against the tree and whizzed right by the tree. And I was just like, the bathroom's, like, right over there. I was like, what are you missing? And
yeah, she's like, I don't want to miss the fireworks.
So like, just my family has like always been just go pee over there. Just go pee over there. There's a bush. Like I've peed in so many bottles. I do it like even now when you were talking about peeing, I was like, man, I gotta pee. And I was looking in the room, I'm like, is there anything to pee in here?
Oh my God, Fee.
There wasn't. So I'm just gonna have to wait until after. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but like it's just how uncouth I am that I don't. If I have to pee and there's nowhere to pee, I will pee. And if there's like a bathroom that's out of order, like in the mall, I will go and pee in that broken toilet.
No,
and
Fee.
I don't even care. Like I have to piss, and I'm not gonna ruin it. Everyone's like at the mall having a good time. I'm not gonna be like, we have to go. No,
we have to leave.
No, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. They're like, it's out of order. Not anymore. Not for this like few minutes. It's not.
Jesus, Fee. God, I can't even imagine that.
It's
the audacity on you. Like you're the guy where like a urinal is not functioning, and they put a plastic bag on top of it, and then you just pee on top of the plastic bag. Like you're that guy.
No, I pulled the bag to the side and pee in the urinal.
Please, come on. I'm not a monster.
Look, if you pee on the bag, there's like splash bag. It sucks.
Yeah, you're not even concerned with who has to clean it up or anything. You're concerned with it getting on you. Yeah.
Look, you don't want to be walking around and you got like pee droplets on you. It's just not cool.
Listen, the thing is, you're correct.
But you're not right.
I will say, as a parent, there are days where you just have pee on you, and you're like, well, I guess I have pee on me.
Well, see that you have a child. What's my excuse? I'm bad at aiming. Just like there's a difference. It's expected because you're a parent and you actively change your son and do whatnot. But like, what's my excuse? Oh, I helped him. Just like, man. What would I say? Like, I've peed on trees. I've peed between buildings. Like, I've peed under like the bleachers of like a stand. Like, it doesn't matter. Just if you got a wiener,
like under the bleachers? Was there anybody in the bleachers?
No. Like,
okay.
Wait. I think this was like in between school, like classes, like when you had to walk.
Yeah.
I think I was like in athletics, and I knew I wasn't gonna make it back to the gym, so I just went behind the bleachers, took a leak.
I was imagining like we were face painting for drama team, and you, for whatever reason, where like the bathrooms are not going to work. I've got to just pee under the stand. So there's a football game going on. And then there's just like, like 8 or 10 dozen people that are like sitting in the bleachers and you're just peeing under them. Like, yeah,
dude. I mean, don't tell me that you don't think anyone in Taft has ever done that. They had to lock the underside of the bleachers because people were just going down there all the time.
That is true. And the thing is like, I don't know if it's the same way with everybody else's school, but like whenever you hear like they had to lock the part of the bleachers that way people didn't go under it, like I don't know what you're imagining, but what it probably was somebody was caught having sex under it, right? Like that's just what seems to happen literally every time at our high school. Like, but for our school, it wasn't the
bleachers; it was the gym.
The gym was the worst. Was the place to go. The band hall. Yeah. If you were in good with the band people, the band hall was the place.
Yeah, if you wanted to have sex, just do it anywhere that's not the main school, and no one would care.
And by the way, so our school, it didn't have a pool next to it because it was technically owned by someone else, but there was a big tree next to the pool, and there, like, you could still every once in a while people would like have sex out there, which is like it's far enough away from school campus that like no one's gonna wander over and see you. You would have to be driving on the road and like look in the bushes and stuff, but like How desperate, man. Like, get in a car. Go somewhere.
No one had cars but you in school.
That's not true. There were at least 4 other people that had cars.
Yeah, but those people weren't having sex, you included.
That is true. Correct.
Like, take for instance, I know Mike like had a lot of sex during school. He would just drive the girls back to his house.
Yeah, which is like that's the move.
Yeah, well,
right?
He lived close enough. What would I if I had a girlfriend during high school and I was like, let's go have sex, and she was down, we'd have to walk all the way back to my house.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair to Mike, like they could have walked back to Mike's house. It was honestly like a 20-minute walk. So if you're fast enough, could have made it happen. But
yeah,
I imagine like a 20-minute walk, especially in humid ass South Texas in like September. You get to the place, you're just dripping with sweat, and you're like, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm just gonna eat some chips and go back.
Like, listen, we could do it if you want, but it's not gonna be pretty. It's just like, look, when you're in high school, you don't care like how sweaty you are. It doesn't matter. You're gonna have sex because that's what you do in school. Not me though. I didn't have sex while I was in high school, like at all. I felt like a weirdo because like I would just keep hearing that people were like, yeah, they were having sex in like the gym or in the locker room or over there behind the ISS building, and I'm just like, huh, I got 2 lunches today. I just like I just literally don't like. I'm not gonna say I don't know what I did wrong. I'm hideous, but that wasn't my experience. My experiences was hanging out with you and Mike every minute of the day.
Pretty much, yeah, same. I had a very similar experience. Not a like I dated. There was definitely 0 sex. Like I remember I had a girlfriend in junior year of high school, and she was from like a neighboring town. And, like, you know, we like did like typical date stuff, but there was one day I went over to her house to go hang out, and she was like, she told her parents, she was like, hey, we're going to go upstairs and go watch a movie. And I was like, oh, sick. I love movies. Not getting what was supposed to be happening here. And so we start watching this movie and we're like making out, right? And we made out for a very long time, and she finally like got my hand and put it under her shirt, and she was like, please try something. And I was like, oh, sorry.
I've never done this.
I wasn't okay. Like she was very clearly like, can something anything happen here, please?
Listen.
And the answer was no. The answer was like, I'm very nervous, so no.
Listen, I didn't bring you over here to watch a goddamn movie. I want you to do me. Just.
I was like, I gotta dinner. I gotta go home to dinner later, and I can't. Parents will smell the sin on me.
My parents, the bloodhounds.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
Colby.
Something went down.
Did you have sex? Just your dad? Just
No. Why do you think I would? Look at me.
Look how ugly I am. Just
all right, fair.
I go to your room. You must have fallen into one of them vagina ditches. Just
Oh, they're all over South Texas, just everywhere.
It's especially Taft. I remember my dad, like, because my dad was an alcoholic. He would always be angry, but like mean angry up until like I graduated. Then he was just nice angry. But like I remember him while in high school getting mad at me. He's just like, why don't you have a girlfriend, and why don't you ever like bring a girl home and have sex with her in your room? I'm like, because I don't have one.
And also, I don't have a door. What do you want?
I didn't. I'm like, it would be weird. I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, are you gay? You're always hanging out with Mike and Colby. I'm like, I'm not, and they're not.
No?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm like, what do you want me to tell you? I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm trying.
I'm just. There's video games and stuff. Like, there's other things, Dad.
Dad, we're at the fucking peak of gaming, Dad. What do you want me to do?
Kingdom Hearts just came out. What am I supposed to do?
Look, I have a lot of games, and I have a lot of like hanging out to do. Jeez,
Jesus.
like yeah, it was so funny, but like I remember having like a girlfriend for like a week. I've had 2 girlfriends during high school, and they were like both for a week each. And I was like, well, that was nice, but like I didn't know what like having a girlfriend like meant. Like cell phones were just barely out, so like I didn't know how to like be like texting them, be like, hey, what would I even text them? What could I tell them?
Yeah. Hey, I'm at my house. I'm, you know.
Mom made tacos again. Blah. I don't know. Like, what could I say? What could I say? Like, for real. Like, we both go to school together, so we're like, we see each other all day. What more could I talk about? Did you see this movie? Like,
yeah. My dad's drunk again.
It's not like in TV shows where I had a job, but like I couldn't just leave and be like, let's get in my car and fucking go out and do something. We're in Taft. What do you want us to do? Go to Portland? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why, I mean, at least theoretically, that's one of the reasons why like people just had like high school kids had a lot of sex in our town, is because there's just, if you didn't have a car, you couldn't go anywhere and there wasn't anything to do. So like, it's like, do you want to watch this same movie that I got on VHS or something?
Yeah. I remember Fee, matchmaker, got Colby a girlfriend.
Yeah, okay.
Let's tell the story. I know we talked about her before, but we didn't explain how it happened.
So, senior year of high school, this was toward the beginning of the school year. This was like within the first like month or two. There were 2 girls that had flirted with me, and I picked up on the fact that they had flirted with me, and I was like, okay, I could date one of these people. And I thought about it, and number one, just a word of advice, if anyone is out there and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I've got 2 people that I could potentially date, and I don't really care which one I date. Don't date either of them. You don't want to date either of them. That's the secret here.
Don't let your friend decide for you.
Yeah. So what I did is, you know,
I don't know why. Either.
Again, I didn't care. I didn't care who went out with me, but asking girls out is not my strong suit. I'm very bad at it.
Yeah.
So the, what I said is I told Fee, both of these girls, tell them each that I would date them if they asked me out. And then whoever asked me out first, I'll just say yes to. Which, like, when I say it out loud, sounds real bad, you know? Right? Yeah. It doesn't sound great.
It sounds, yeah.
But he does this, right? And I then get a letter. This is very junior high. I get a letter from one of them, and oh god, I still remember the contents of the letter because it was a country music lyric. On the letter, it said, "Do you like me? Do you love me? Do you want to be my friend? Yes or no? Do you want to date?" And I was like, "This is stupid." I immediately regret this. But now I'm in, right? Like, the parameters have been set up. I I have said already, whoever asked me out first, I'll just say yes to. Now, if I say no because of this, I'm lying, and that's bad. So I say yes. Like, what am I supposed to do? I say yes. But like, we're not. This is someone that I'm not super familiar with. We haven't spent a lot of time with each other. I think she's cute. She is into me. So like, okay, sure. Let's like see what happens. I don't know. It's the beginning of the school year. Who gives a shit? And so we're like,
she's in our drama club. That made it weird. Worse.
Yes. So she's in drama, which like I've already said this before, but like I spent 1,600 hours in drama over the course of my high school career. I was there all the time. Yeah. Anytime there was a drama function, I was there. That's just, I was a drama kid. And so that's basically how like we kind of like got to know each other. And so we would hang out at drama, and then it would be like, I was like, well, we gotta go home. Like, we're gonna go do home stuff. Bye. And we like, I think we held hands a few times. And the thing is, like, I started inviting her to hang out with me, Mike, and Fee. And she was hanging out with us just every once in a while, but she was extremely quiet, didn't say hardly anything.
She wasn't funny, which was a big deal for us because me and Mike and Colby were just cracking jokes constantly.
There was no space. There was no space to be like a genuine human being in our friend circle. It's just like you're either making jokes or you're being made fun of. Yeah. It's one of the two.
And the funny thing is, whenever she would, because Colby would drive us around everywhere in his truck because it was big enough to hold all of us. And you would think that she would sit in the front with them, but he didn't care. So whoever called shotgun was sitting in the front and she would sit in the back.
Listen, those are the established rules, okay? Whoever calls shotgun gets in the front. If she didn't call shotgun, how could she be in the front?
Which, like, was funny because, like, I was always in the back mostly because I didn't care. I was, like, really small. And I would fit good in the back, and I'd put, like, my feet up. But, like, sometimes I'd get to sit in the front. But, like, she would just always sit in the back. And it was just always funny to me. Just, like, oh, your girlfriend's in the back.
Man.
And, like, so he was so mad at me. Because
because we were talking privately later.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is weird, and I don't know that this is working out. I don't know how to break up with her. This is strange. And I was like, man, it's just like luck of the draw, though. It's like, if the other girl would have said yes first, then I would have. And Fee was like, oh, I forgot to tell her. And I went, you what? And he goes, yeah, I forgot to tell her. And I was like, oh, cool. Thank you for setting me up with this relationship, Fee. Well, which, like, let me be real. It's entirely my fault, right? Like, I'm the one who set up this stupid challenge, and I'm the one that told Fee, hey, go tell these girls around the same time that if they date me, that if they ask to date me, I'll say yes.
So I had her for first period, so I told her, but I didn't see the other girl until later that day. I didn't know, like, her classes. So, I didn't tell her till, like, later. But by then, like, she had already, like, said, asked Colby to date her. So it was too late. And I was just like, well, I tried.
It's over. I tried. You tried. The hell you did.
I technically didn't. I did what you asked me.
No, you did. Listen, this is 100% my fault. Your execution was terrible. You shouldn't have been in the position in the first place, though. You know what I mean?
It was just because, like, we would hang out in the morning, and then you just, like, asked me, and I was like, okay. You could have told me to ask her and then have Mike ask the other girl, because I'm pretty sure they saw each other more. They were, in most, probably more of classes together. But I was like, okay, well, I'll try. I was very aloof when I was younger. Very.
Yeah, true. If he would just be like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then not, or do it, but do it in like a really bad way, and then you'd be like, what? Like, if you would have just told me that you didn't want to do that, I would have found another way to do it. And he's like, whatever.
I floated on through school. Like, I didn't care about a lot of things. I just genuinely didn't. And I was always just cracking up with Colby and Mike. We'd always be in theaters, and we would just make our teacher go crazy, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was so funny because, like, going into high school, I wasn't used to having, like, two really good friends that wanted to hang out with me all the time. I had some friends and, my cousin, and we would hang out, but, like, not as frequently as you or Mike. And immediately when I tried out for, like, theater, y'all were like, you're my friend now. And I was like, ugh, I'm like, fuck y'all guys. But then as I kept going to school and hanging out, I was like, well, these guys are cool. And then, like, they wanted to hang out with me.
Yeah, we were like, no. Fuck all that. You're going to be the third person in our improv group, which means that we're now friends.
And I remember Travis being y'all's third and y'all hating him. And then when y'all are like, okay, no, you're out. It's Fee now. Travis hating me because
Travis did hate you.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, you think you could just come in and be part of the group? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, whereas me and Mike were like, we're literally inviting him into the group and slowly not inviting you to things. We really lucked out with the fact that Travis moved in the middle of the school year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, things would have gotten real weird. Travis had two major, like, large drawbacks. He had good comedic timing. He was funny. His go-to was Ace Ventura quotes, though. And he smelled bad. And no matter what we did, he always just smelled bad. So it was like, well, I don't want to hang out with someone that smells bad.
That's going to reflect bad on us.
Yeah, what are people going to think?
They're going to think we're the smelly friends.
Yeah, so from that date, basically the three of us were like inseparable throughout all of high school. And so like this like weird dating quest wasn't a strange thing of me to ask of Fee. I will say the thing that pushed it over the edge was to where I decided, oh, I need to break up with this person. Me and Mike and Fee and my girlfriend at the time, we went to go hang out outside, and we were throwing a football.
Oh my god! Yes.
We were throwing a football around, and I made a joke about I made fun of my girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Because we're in a group in which that's what you do, is you make fun of people. That's like our entire way of relating to one another.
Yeah, we constantly made fun of each other all the time, but we knew it wasn't in like bad taste. We would just make fun of each other.
So I make fun of her, and then basically Mike is like, go long, and I'll throw the ball to see who's going to catch it. So I'm like, I'm running. Mike's about to throw this ball, and my girlfriend sticks her goddamn foot out and trips me.
Oh, dude, it was bad. Like
I face planted and slid like I was running like I meant it.
Yeah, dude, Colby ate shit hard, and this wasn't on grass. This was like on dirt, like caliche rocks, and and just dead grass piles. Because we're playing behind, like, one of the schools. Mm-hmm. And Colby fucking eats it hard. And I remember him being just violent, like, massively angry. Like, I could tell, like...
What the fuck? You did that on purpose, didn't you? She was like, and laughed about it. And
Just
I didn't keep my cool about it. I was very visibly angry and I yelled a little bit, but after we dropped her off, I was dropping Fee off at his house and I was like, I gotta fucking break up with her. After that, I gotta break up with her. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this isn't working out. She's not part of the friend circle. She's bad. Ooh, she's she's not even funny. And she ruins movies.
Yeah, so I broke up with her
And
via a letter because it seemed appropriate because that's how she got into a relationship with me.
You didn't give her a lyric of a country song, right?
Dog, you know I thought about it, but I don't know any country songs. So
yeah, country songs.
I just broke up with her via a letter, and then we just sort of avoided each other. The next month is whenever we went to a theater convention up in Dallas, and so we all go to this big theater convention. It's the whole theater organization, right?
Yeah, and we're all having a good time.
We get up there. We're having a great time in our terrible room. And we turn on Anchorman. We start Anchorman. I think Mike brought a DVD player and Anchorman. So like we were just going to watch Anchorman and talk shit and hang out. And then we get a call to our hotel room phone. And Mike answers the phone and starts talking to someone. And then he's like, "Hey, Colby, it's your ex-girlfriend." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, she wants me to tell you that you suck. And I was like, okay. He said, okay. All right. Yeah. She wants me to tell you that you smell. I said, okay. Okay. Yeah. He said, okay.
She wants me to tell you that she has a new boyfriend and he can run and run and run and never get tired.
Mike laughed, relaying that message. He gets halfway through. He goes, "She wants you to know that she has a new boyfriend," and then he just starts laughing. And he goes, "He could run and run and run and never get tired." I haven't laughed harder at anything probably ever since then. That was probably the funniest thing anyone's ever said to me. But this, like her telling him, "You tell him I hate him," and I think he's stupid, and he's got like a pencil dick. Like that was one of the ones, and I was like, "You haven't seen my dick. You have no idea."
Oh, but I know. Well, like
she knows.
The thing is, she was very monotone. And had didn't have a lot of emotion in her voice. So imagining her saying that was even better because we talk about Mike a lot, but what you don't know about Mike is he's a sarcastic little shit. And he said he has a lot of sarcasm in his voice and he's always like joking. You never can tell with him unless he says, "Oh no, it isn't a joke." But like when Mike is relaying these messages, I can hear it in her voice, but hearing Mike say it just made it a lot better.
Yeah, she honestly, imagine Tina from Bob's Burgers with a higher voice and less personality, and you're there. That's it.
It's so shitty. Like, I'm sure she's nice. Not recently. I've heard some bad things about her, but
oh my god, no.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything, but I think it was a few years ago she got caught up in like sexual what's it called? Harassment towards a minor?
Oh no.
Yeah. And I don't know what came of it.
Damn.
I don't know what came of it, but I didn't look further into it, but I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, that's one of those stories where you go, I don't need to know about that. No, thank you.
I'm like, I didn't really like her. The thing is, we didn't like really hang out in school or anything. I didn't quite care for her.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't quite care for anyone but my friends at the time. And, like, even the people in our theater group, I didn't care much for. And some of my cousins were in theater group. And the disrespectful little shit I was back then, like, is different than I am now. Because, like, I didn't care what I told them. I would always, like, say some crazy shit to them. But, like, Mike and Colby were always there, and we would always, like, get it. And we would just joke about it. So, it's very weird. But it was also very fun. It was a very fun time. But, like, I can't say I would act like that anymore. Like, ever.
Yeah, the thing is, if you're not thinking of the things that you did like 10 years ago and cringing at them, like, you haven't made any progress in your life. So, like, you know,
because
you're not like, ugh.
I know, like, I didn't care if, like, I took my shirt off at people's houses. I didn't care if people saw my chest or anything. Like, sometimes I still don't. Like, if I sleep at your house, of course I'm going to take my shirt off. But I'm not going to walk around, like, your kitchen or living room and have, like, your parents see me. But, like, that's the thing. When I was younger, I just did not give a shit. Like, I have ADHD. I know I do. I haven't got checked, but I know I do. But back then,
yeah, it's extremely obvious.
but back then, it was just so rampant that I would just go from one thing to another and didn't care what I did in between. It's just I wasn't mean. I was just I just what's it called? I spoke whatever was on my mind and didn't care who heard. And
yeah, I mean, and there's definitely something to be said about that, to, like, be able to speak your mind and to not be, like, afraid of, like, expressing yourself and speaking up, especially, like, on behalf of other people. However, this was mainly like Fee had a thought and then that thought was out of his mouth.
There wasn't an in between. I would think something and say it. I still kind of do, but now I kind of think something and I'm just like, okay, how can I word this? Or I'm like, no, don't say that. That's
no, don't say that. Don't say that.
Like, yeah, don't say it. Like, I've like reeled it in, but back then, if I thought something was gonna be funny, I would just say it. And if it was funny, it was funny, and if it wasn't, I'd move on to the next thing. Who cares?
Just say the next thing. I'll get him next time.
I don't think I had a sense of embarrassment. That's I didn't have, like, I didn't have a sense that, oh, people are gonna, like, cringe or be embarrassed. I was like 15, 16. I didn't have that yet. So it was just, I'd be at work and I'd talk shit. I'd be at school and talk shit. Or, like, I'd be at Colby's, like, parents' house and talk shit, or at Mike's house. Or I'd talk shit with y'all. And it's so funny. Like, I remember going to Colby's house, this, like, one of the first time. And he had, like, a dagger on his, like, dresser. And, like, I picked it up and, like, his mom came in and she was like, oh, please put that down. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, I was just looking at it.
I was just looking at it.
So yeah, like,
yeah, my mom was like, don't play with knives, please.
Like,
please.
I was like, oh, well, I got a bunch back at home just like this. Just my dad just gives them to me.
Yeah, it's like, there was a period of time there in which I had, like, a number of knives and or daggers in my room because I thought they were cool.
I think
and I get, like, as a parent now, if my son turned, like, 13 or 14 and was like, yeah, I think this dagger's cool, I want to have it. Okay, cool. And then I walked into his room and his friend was holding the dagger up his head. I'd be like, hey, motherfucker, put that down. What are you doing?
I mean, I guess that's fair. Like, you don't like see things, but like how, like, your parents would see them, but, like, in hindsight. But I guess I can't because, like, my parents were very just open and chill about stuff.
Yeah, your parents wouldn't have cared.
If that had happened in my house, my dad'd been like, "Oh, I got this at this place. You want to see another one? Fucking."
I feel like your dad would have been like, "Oh, you would have challenged me to a knife fight, huh?"
Yeah, walks into my room while you're holding a knife. "Oh, you want to fight, huh?" Fucking pulls out.
Oh, let me go get my knife. No.
My dad always, those days, he would keep an open knife in his pocket just in case.
Oh my God.
Um,
Never had to use it, just had it.
Yeah, like, well, just in case. My dad was always like ready for fucking anything, no matter what. So that was great. Mm-hmm. And we didn't even talk about Mike's mom, and how much she hated Mike and loved me.
Yeah, and you're right. I see where you're going with this. We're at an hour and a half, and we can't get into that. But that just keep that in mind. That Mike's like biological mother, who he lived with on and off for a long time, loved and adored Fee more than Mike, and we have a number of pieces of proof of this. It's not just one incident; it's many incidences.
Yeah, it's so great. We didn't have a lot of there's not a lot in culture to talk about. So of course we talked about our past, and we'll talk about it next time. But I want to talk about Moon Knight next time because I haven't seen episode 5, but episode 6 will be out by the time next not this one, next episode. So we're gonna have fun with our embarrassing past. Because next week we're gonna deep dive Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moon Knight will be out next week in its entirety, and we're gonna get up in there.
Yeah, we're gonna get in there. But yeah, it is an hour and a half, so we're gonna go ahead and say find us on Spotify, any podcatcher, iTunes, 5 stars. Give us the highest rating.
Big 5.
Big 5 glorious stars. You can find us on YouTube. Give us that big thumb. Subscribe. Follow. All that stuff. Leave comments. Tell us how embarrassing we were. Tell us how embarrassing you were.
Yeah. I'm positive you're embarrassed. If you're listening to this, you're definitely embarrassing.
Yeah.
Were. Maybe you're not now. Maybe you're very cool now like we are. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool and good with the ladies. And I tell you right now, I'm good with all the ladies, all the men. I've never been embarrassing in front of either.
Nope.
But yeah. So get all your memories, bring them to like the front of your brain, and let us go get them.
Go get them.
I've never been embarrassing. All my life.
I was here at the birth of the universe, and I wasn't embarrassing once.
Not once. Not one time. No one ever has said, "Hey, Georgie, that's kind of embarrassing." Because if they had, I'd have them killed. I'd kill them myself.
Those people don't exist. I wrote them out.
Have you seen anyone say that? No, because they don't exist. I did that.
No. Well, you know what? If they did say it, I'm gonna need an address.
let me know who they are. I'll go to the house right now. Have them dealt with. These 2 hands. Luke and Darth. The light side and the dark side.